What to do now? I was banking on being able to come up with some good idea after taking a bath and improving my blood circulation, but my brain knows itself best. Just as Asahina-san had said, the changing room has towels and spares ready. Elastic pants and t-shirts were lined up on the racks nearby. I put on a random set and headed to the dining room with Koizumi. The three that bathed beforehand had placed a whole row of juice jugs on the dining table and have been waiting for us.
So slow! Why the hell did you all take so long?
To me, that was only a little longer than the time a crow might take in the bath. I sip on the orange juice that Haruhi handed over, and my vision is directed not at Nagato, but outside the window. Perhaps because her body is warmed up, Haruhi is chugging at the canned juice happily with her good index finger shooting upward. Asahina-san has a smile from being oblivious to the current situation, while Koizumi, who clearly understands everything, does the same. Just what time is it right now? The view outside the window is still a snowstorm as before, but it seems gloomy and not pitch black, which gives me the chills. Haruhi seems to have lost the sense of time.
Let's go and play in the gaming room!
Still in the mood to play.
Even karaoke is fine, but we haven't played mahjong in such a long time.
I say that we should get some shut-eye. We'll have plenty of time to play later. I am really tired. Before this, we had walked for hours with skis on our back, being half buried in the snow. Only Haruhi's muscles are not totally worked to exhaustion, it seems.
That's true.
Haruhi seems to want to know which side the others are on, after examining everyone's expressions.
Fine, alright, let's take a break. But once we wake up, I want everyone to play with their all!
She announces with the glow of 2 to 3 nebulae coming from her pupils. After everyone returns to their respective den, I start to engage in a self-personality meeting inside my head as I lie on the bed to think of a way out. Sadly, my personality just had to expose my uselessness right at this moment, as not even one constructive proposal comes out. Everyone stays silent, hoping that someone will break the ice. As the time passes by, minute by minute, my conscience becomes more and more hazy.
Kyon.
I didn't even catch the sound of the door closing, or the footsteps of someone entering the room, nor the sound of rustling clothing. I got scared from this anyway, and I am just shocked by the silhouette of the person standing in the middle of the room. Asahina-san? The light in the room comes reflected off the snow, shining through the window with the shade pulled to one side.
Kyon.
Asahina-san reveals a smile on her face as she calls my nickname, moves ever so lightly and sits by my side. I scramble to sit up straight, as her naked legs close on each other. There is an unexplainable surreal sense somehow.
Well,
That beautiful, childish face seems to want something.
may I sleep over here?
Those dewy eyes look straight at my face as this cheeky Miss Asahina leans on my shoulder softly. What is this about?
I was scared by myself. I kept tossing and turning around and I couldn't fall asleep. If I'm right beside you, I should be able to get a good night's sleep.
Hot body temperature seeps through that shirt. It is a heat that someone could mistakenly think of as burning. Something soft is pressing against me. Asahina-san hugs my arm and presses her face closer to me.
Is it okay?
This isn't a matter of okay or not. There's no man or woman in this world that has the heart to turn down a pleading Asahina-san. So the answer is, of course, yes. This bed is a bit too long for one person. Hold it. She lets my arm go with a gorgeous smile and starts to unbutton that shirt, which is already very loose. That bedazzling, soft curve slowly starts to reveal itself. Only 2 buttons left on the white shirt. No, 1. This is more tempting than even full nudity, since the model is of high quality. Asahina-san takes a glance at me with her eyes tilting upward and tosses a shy, teasing smile my way. Her finger finally lets the last button loose. Should I move my sight elsewhere? From the innards of the completely unbuttoned shirt, pure white skin moves up and down with each breath. On the body of this person that is so artistically crafted to perfection that even Venus herself will cower inside of the clamshell, On top of the half mound over the smooth and round breast lies a very visible star. Huh! I jump out of my bed as if I had a spring in me. No way! Look closely. Why is it that I didn't notice this? The person before me is not my Asahina-san. I should have known better than anyone else. Didn't I do this last time to verify for authenticity? You would know after looking at that spot on Asahina-san. Who are you? There is no mole on the left breast of this Asahina-san. The half-naked beauty sitting on the bed talks with a distressed look.
Why? You don't want me?
If this were the real Asahina-san, I should still be able to hang on. No. The problem isn't that. Asahina-san would never sneak in and seduce me. I am hooked without her having to do that. You are not Asahina-san. I keep retreating, and gazing upon those alluring eyes that are about to burst into tears. My reason is about to derail.
Please, don't do this.
I finally utter this out. Who are you? Are you the maker of this strange house? An alien or a slider? Why did you do this?
No.
The Asahina-san before me sounds so sad. Her head lies low and her lips are twisted from being depressed. And then... She turns around and flies to the door like wind, her shirt lifted about in the air. The moment she leaves the room, she turns around, looks at me with the tears in her eyes and heads to the hallway. The bang is surprisingly loud, and that sound wakes my memory. I locked the inner lock. Without a key, there should be no way to get in from the outside. Please, wait a second! In that instant, I suddenly say this in a respectful tone and run to the door to open it. A loud noise is made. No matter how forceful I get, the sound of a door opening shouldn't be so intense that my abdomen would tremble. Just as I thought this.
You?
I run straight into Haruhi. Haruhi, with her room directly opposite mine, has her head out of the door and looks at me with her mouth wide open.
Kyon, you were in my room a moment ago. Or were you?
There are more people than just Haruhi and me with her head stuck out into the hallway. Asahina-san is also puzzled and has her door halfway opened. As for the neighbor to the left, Nagato's slim body is present. I look over the side.
What was that?
Koizumi touches the tip of his nose and gives me a strange look along with a very awkward smile. It becomes clear that the reason why the reverberation from opening the door was so loud was because all 5 of us had opened our doors at the same time. This would be the resonance of an ensemble of 5. Haruhi's mind returns first and talks as if she is staring right at me.
Why is everyone out of their room at the same time?
How about you then? You wouldn't be going out to the toilet. Surprisingly, Haruhi actually lowers her head, bites on her lower lip, and only opens up after some time.
I had the strangest dream. I dreamed that you had sneaked into my room, and you didn't talk like you would have. And you did things that you wouldn't do. I found it odd. In the end, I punched you hard and you ran off. That's an odd dream, right? But it didn't feel quite like a dream.
If that was a dream, then this would be a continuation of the dream. As I look at the vexed Haruhi with locked eyebrows, Koizumi heads to my direction.
I as well.
He stares right at my face.
You appeared in my room as well. The appearance might have been you, but the behavior was just terrifying. Anyways, you did things you wouldn't normally do.
I start to get frightened out of the blue. My sight moves away from that smiling face of Koizumi, seemingly up to something, and turns instead towards Asahina-san. This is the real McCoy. One look and there's no question about it. How could I have mistaken that person as her? Whether it'd be the feel or in her actions, she cannot compare to the bona fide Asahina-san. Perhaps my gaze embarrasses her. Asahina-san blushes. Did I appear before her? Just as I assumed that to be the case.
Mrs. Suzumiya came into my room.
Her fingers are caught together and move uneasily.
That's strange, Mrs. Suzumiya. I don't know how to describe it. Was it like a fake?
Yes, definitely a fake. Why did fake versions of ourselves appear in each other's room? Asahina-san and mine. I went to Haruhi and Koizumi's rooms, and Haruhi and Asahina-san's room. Nagato. I keep pressing. Who came into your room? The stoic facade of Nagato, who is in a t-shirt as is Asahina-san, lifts up and looks directly into me.
You.
Having said that in a whisper, she slowly closes her eyelids. And then...
Yuki?
With the background music composed of Haruhi's puzzled shout on the side, I witness an unbelievable scene. Nagato, the very Yuki Nagato, falls, as if pressed down by an unseen demonic hand, flat on the ground.
Yuki, what happened? Yuki!
Everyone is too surprised to utter a word, and are dumbstruck frozen on the scene, with only Haruhi rushing in and lifting the small body up.
Whoa, so hot! Yuki, are you alright? Yuki? Yuki!
The sleeping face of Nagato had her eyelids shut and her head slanted downwards. My instinct told me, however, that Nagato is not in a sound slumber. Haruhi hugs Nagato's shoulder and hollers out with a sharp gaze.
Koizumi-kun, get Yuki onto her bed, quickly! Kyon, go find some ice pillows. There should be some over there. Mikuru-chan, go prepare the wet towels.
Seeing as how I, Asahina-san, and Koizumi stand still, Haruhi barks out again.
Hurry up!
After seeing Koizumi lifting up the entirely collapsed Nagato, I head off downstairs in a hurry. Ice pillow, ice pillow, ice pillow? Where might the ice pillow be? Damn. This is just bad. I was hoping to let Nagato live a peaceful life like a normal person for the next few days. Who knew that the exact opposite would happen? There is no trace of any ice pillow anywhere, so I wind up in the kitchen by instinct. My own ice mat is not in the emergency kit, but in the fridge. Where would it be in this strange house? Wait. I stop my hand as I hold on to the handle of the fridge door. I pray as hard as I can in my head after having visualized the image of an ice pillow in my head. Following that, I open the fridge. There! The blue ice pillow sits atop the cabbage. Everything really is provided for. This is way too convenient. I don't know who pays such attention to detail, but it will only lead to an undesired outcome. I am more resolute thanks to that fellow. We definitely can't stay in a place like this. I have walked all the way out of the dining room with the rock-solid ice pillow, and I see Koizumi standing over in the entrance hall, giving attention to the door at the portal. What is he doing there? Did the Right Honorable Haruhi order him to dig out snow to cool Nagato down? Just as I am about to give him a few words of advice, Koizumi has spotted me and opens up first.
You've come just in time. Take a look at this.
And he points to the door. I swallow my saliva and look towards where he points to. I see something quite incredible, and am so surprised as to be choked of words. What is that? This is all that I can squeeze out of myself. We didn't see this before.
Yes, this was not here. I was the last one to have entered the house. When I shut the door, I did not see anything like it at the time.
On the inner side of the door, something hard to describe is attached to it. The closest things to compare it to would be control panels or interface panels, I guess. A board about 50 centimeters in length is embedded into the door, or is it an interface panel? A bunch of symbols and numbers that give me nothing but headaches are written on the panel. I look at them patiently. The top row is x minus y equals open parentheses d minus 1 closed parentheses minus z. The bottom row is labeled x equals blank, y equals blank, z equals blank. It's only just short of having someone tell you to socket something in. Just as I look at those indentations with a confused look,
The accessories are over here.
Koizumi points to a group of numbered blocks placed inside a wooden frame on the floor. Looking at it closely, I can see that 3 rows of digits from 0 to 9 are stored there. I bend down to take one out and have a look at it. The appearance is like a mahjong tile, as is the weight. The only difference is that the pattern carved into it is that single-digit Arabic numeral. 10 kinds of digits are divided into 3 groups and placed in a flat wooden box.
These should be the numbers that we are to use to solve the equation.
Koizumi picks one up as well to examine it.
Perhaps they are to be slotted into the blank spaces.
I look back at the equation and my head hurts again. Mathematics has always been a source of pain as a matter of course for me. Koizumi, can you solve this?
I seem to recall the equation, but these hints are not enough. If this is purely to equate the values on both sides, then there exists an innumerable amount of possible combinations. To reduce that number to only one set, there need to be more conditions set.
I look at the most unique letter out of the 4. What would this D be? It might not need to be resolved.
It is the only one in uppercase.
Koizumi plays with his number 0 tile and says in a lowered voice,
This equation, I really have seen it before, but I have no idea that it would appear over here. What is it? I keep thinking that I have seen this only recently.
He locks his eyebrows and stands still. A rarity for Koizumi to show such a face deep in thought. So, do you think there's special meaning in that? I put my tile back into the wooden frame. Koizumi's attention returns.
I think this might be the key, since the double door is locked. To open it from the inside is impossible. It is a waste of effort to try turning the handlebar.
What did you say?
Go ahead and try it for yourself. See? There's no keyhole over the inner side of the doors, nor is there a key slot.
I tried and can't open it. Who might have locked it? Even if this were an automatic, it should be openable from the inside.
This further proves indirectly that this space is beyond common sense.
Koizumi returns to his meaningless smile.
The identity of the perpetrator is unknown, but it is clear that the opponent intends to imprison us in here. The windows have been sealed shut and the doors soundly locked.
If so, just what is the equation on the interface panel for? Some puzzle for us to pass the time?
If my guess is correct, this equation would be the key for us to open the door.
Koizumi continues with his carefree tone.
I also think that this is the last means of escape that Nagato-san has left for us.
I have reawakened my recent memories, and am totally immersed in recollection, but Koizumi pays no heed to it and keeps up with his rhetorics.
This can be said to be an information conflict. It is a kind of warfare that is under some form of limitation. Someone has imprisoned us in this alternate space, and Nagato-san has left us with an escape route in advance to combat this dark faction. This equation is the result. We should be able to return to our world by solving the equation, or else we will remain here.
Koizumi knocks on the door.
I am not clear as to what kind of a battle it is, but if it is an all-out struggle between some sentient life forms, it will be waged on a plane beyond our imagination, and this is the only physical manifestation of that struggle. That interface should be the end product of this fight.
An equation that is totally out of place in this strange, mysterious house.
It is no coincidence that soon after our strange dream, Nagato-san fainted and this interface panel appeared. These events are not isolated phenomena, but are all somehow interrelated.
Koizumi goes on, being quite good at hiding the anxiety in his heart.
This would be a key out of this alternate space, an escape key forged by Nagato-san.
That makes me look all over the board for any markings of copyright Yuki Nagato. Unfortunately, I cannot find such a thing.
Basically, this is only my own prediction. Nagato-san has only limited powers at her disposal inside this space. Seeing as her communication to the integrated data sentient entity has been severed, She could only use her innate abilities, which resulted in this roundabout solution.
You may call it prediction, but your tone is rather decisive.
That is true. The organization has tried to make contacts with other sources of connection, so I do hold a certain amount of intelligence.
Although I really would like to hear more about other aliens, it simply isn't the time for that. The pressing matter is to solve this equation written on this interesting interface. As I look at the symbols on the interface panel as well as the group of numbers in the wooden frame, the calm voice of Nagato comes to mind.
This space is providing significant stress to me.
I do not know who might have set the trap to lure us into this weird house in the snow, but I definitely cannot forgive the person that caused Nagato to have a high fever and to faint. That, and the alien bastard won't have their way. No matter what, we will leave this place and return to Tsuruya-san's villa. No exceptions. The entire SOS Brigade will leave this place.